In this video, I'm building the ultimate underground storage base, equipped with fully functional rooms to help me survive in Minecraft Hardcore. And I want to make sure that we build this thing nice and close to our house. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe somewhere around this spot for the entrance. Everything is a nice distance away, but it's still close enough that it's not too far. And I'm just going to dig down nice and far so we've got plenty room to work with here. And yeah, I think something like that should be far enough. And I've gone ahead and just made a small little base here that we can work from, because I am planning on taking this wall back and just building a giant 50 by 50 room. But I've got to dig it out first, so let's get it done. And I give up. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So this is just one tiny section here, and it's going to go all the way back there. I'm going to have to dig out all of the store in the middle, and then I want to dig up, I don't know, 10 to 15 layers above this as well. I desperately need to speed this up. So the best thing I can think of right now is to get a beacon. Now, we did build our iron farm last episode, so if we just have a mosey on over and check inside, let's see what we've got. We got a pretty good amount here. So I'm just going to craft all of these into blocks of iron. Yeah, we have almost 6 stacks now of iron blocks. That is definitely enough for a beacon, but to complete that beacon we're going to need a nether star, which unfortunately means heading back into the nether, because we need to find a nether fortress to get wither skeleton skulls. This is going to be a long one. Let's just find a fortress and get this over with. Alright, I am just about coming up on one now, but this has not been a nice journey. I mean, look where we are right now. One bad move and it is game over. Bye bye world forever. So as you can imagine, I am taking this extremely slowly right now, and I've made it. My underpants are a little bit heavier than they were 5 minutes ago, but if we want a beacon, this is just the kind of rubbish we have to put ourselves through. Alright, we got some blades on us. You know what? We're just going to ignore you, because what we're really after are wither skeletons, and here's one here. Alright, we didn't get a wither skeleton head, but that's to be expected. Alright, second time's a charm. And we got nothing. Alright, this is probably going to take a while. I'll see you in a second. Oh, and that's 3. My god, that took forever. But that's finally over, so let's get home. Alright, now hopefully we never have to go back into the nether ever again. Anyway, I now have everything that I need to spawn the wither, but this world is way too beautiful to fight this thing above ground. We don't want it blowing everything up. So I'm going to be a complete coward about it and head underground to find a nice safe tunnel to do this in. And I can never quite remember how to do this, but I think it's like a T shape like this. Okay, yep, that looks about right. And we'll place the skulls on the front here. Alright, maybe not. But if they don't go on the front, they definitely go on the top. Oh! Move! This should be fun. Is this a problem? He's kind of got stuck. Alright, you know what? Not ideal, but it's going to work. Oh, there we go. That's what we wanted. And bada bing, bada bum. We have a... what do you call this? A nether star. Alright, let's get back upstairs and craft this beacon. And I've got to be honest, I am very excited to do this. And there we go, our very first beacon. What do you think, Chestnut? Pretty exciting, right? He doesn't care. But we're not finished just yet. We still need to construct this thing. So I'm just going to yoink all of the iron we picked up earlier and head back into our hole where we can make a space for this thing. Alright, I've got my little 9x9 hole, which should be enough room for this beacon. So time for the fun part. Just gotta go around and actually construct the pyramid. Okay, so primary power, we're going to select haste, and secondary power, we're going to select haste too, of course we are. Alright, let's get up into position. Oh my god, that's so good. I'm a very happy guy right now. Okay, so that is finally working. I'm going to get to work and dig out this entire space ready for our storage room. And while I'm digging, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It really helps. Okay, I'll admit, we may have took this a little bit too far. This thing is absolutely massive. Even with the beacon, this thing took several hours, and we need to fill all of this in with chests. I don't even think there's enough wood in the world to do this, but it's done now. That's the big part out of the way, so it's time to finally move on. So I've come back over to my lovely trading village, because I need to buy some new enchantments that we can make a second diamond axe, because we have to gather a lot of wood to create all of our chests for the storage room. This is probably going to take a while. Oh well, it ain't gonna chop itself. think I may have just committed a crime against nature here. This was once a beautiful forest. In fact, this was the beautiful forest that we spawned in, and it's gone now. But on the plus side, look at all this wood. And look, the best part about this is that we can just replant them again. Alright, now before we head back down into the hole, I have something that I'm very excited to show you. So, I've downloaded another mod, and this one is called the Woodcutter. Look at that. Now, this thing works super similar to a typical stone cutter. It gives us everything that can be made out of wood on quick access. That means no messing on with slabs, no messing on with sticks, none of that rubbish. It is going to save us so much time. Now, I've got some barrels here, and I'm just going to mark out a 5 wide space, and this will kind of act as the frame for where all of the chests are going to go. So it'll look something like that. Now, of course, this is only one section, but I'm going to have it all the way around this room. So for every 5 spaces, I'm just going to put a barrel down like this, and that'll give us a nice outline for the layout, and I'm sure everything is going to become a lot easier after that. Alright, so I have got the general outline in, and looking pretty solid so far, but what I am yet to decide is how high I want these chests to stack. But this is one of them projects where I kind of want to build a storage room and never have to expand it. So this is probably a little bit overkill, but I'm thinking, how about we go up by an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Maybe? So it'll be 6 double chests times by 5. That's going to be 30 double chests per section. Okay, I've done a quick count, and I think we've got 27 sections here. So 27 times 30 is 810. And yes, I did use a calculator for that. So 810 double chests. You know what? That is so stupid that I'm actually completely on board with it. Right, this may take a while. Time for another time lapse. I don't think I've ever seen this many chests in one place on Minecraft before, but there's no way I'm going to remember which item's in which box, so I'm going to have to label these things with some item frames. But of course for that we need a lot of leather, so I've grabbed a bunch of materials here, so we are going to go up to the surface and create our first cow crammer. But before we do that, last episode I asked you all to name our new farming district, and I really liked Helper Hill, so that's what we'll call it. Anyway, back to the cow crammer. Hello ladies, I know it's been quite some time since I popped over this side of the island. Hope you're all doing well, but it's your unlucky day. Some of you are getting downgraded from the nice free-range animal pen to a horrible 1x1 square forever. But these things are simple enough to make, and I think we may as well just build it right in the middle of the cow pen here. So all we've got to do is stick a barrel down here, get a hopper attached to that, add some upside down stairs over the barrel, make a little zone they can't jump out of, and that's it. All we've got to do is get some suckers inside of this thing. Alright, now for the last bit, we'll just cover this up with a fence, add a little bit of water in there, and that's done. But this is going to take a little while to start producing leather. So I'm just going to grab a few bits off the cows here, then we can head back down to our storage room, just so I can create a couple of item frames to get a nice little template in. So we'll put stone on this one, and we'll put cobblestone on this one. Alright, it's time to decorate around the chests, but I want to keep it simple. So all I'm going to do is take some oak wood, and we'll go all the way to the top here like this, and then what I can do is bring it up by 1 more and have a strip of oak logs just going across the top here like this. So that gives us a nice general shape, and you can see the chests are all kind of sat inside nicely now, but of course we aren't just going to leave it like a big rectangle. So all I'm going to do is take some spruce stairs, pop them in the corners like this, and then we can add some spruce trapdoors on both ends of the stairs, and just look at the difference that makes. It creates a nice little archway, which in my opinion looks a lot more interesting than just the regular old box. But I do think we can add some more to this. So I think what I'll do at the top here is add another log on each corner, then we can add some oak stairs underneath this, and then we can just repeat what we've got here but using oak instead of spruce. And you know what, I'm actually going to add some oak trapdoors underneath this part too, and then for a little bit of extra detail we'll just pop a stone button at the top here on those corners like that. And there we go. I think that works really nicely. I'm going to go around and get all of the rest of these filled in with the same design, and let's start making some progress. And so far, I am really happy with how this looks. But I did have an idea while I was building this. So what I'm thinking is the center section of each row should be its own unique thing. So let's just empty out these middle sections, even though we just filled them up with chests. And I can already tell this is a good idea because it just instantly breaks up the giant walls of chests. But of course, we need to decide what we're actually going to put in these sections. And I think I've already got my ideas. So the one directly in front of the entrance here, I think we should have as a giant map wall. And then I think over here to the left, we could definitely do with a giant nether portal. And finally over here, something that this world is absolutely desperate for is a super smelter. So that's it, our 3 new sections, which I think is going to add so much more personality to this room. But they will have to wait until later, because I want to build some different things in here. And something I really want to get done is the top floor. I am going to make it all out of wood again, so I'm going to head back up to the surface, because we need to decimate another forest. But for once, I'm actually going to change things up. Oh, I fell in the hole. Oh. It's the old villager pit. And we've still got a villager in here. What are you doing in here, my friend? Go on, my friend, you can be free. If you can find your way to the village, you can live there. But why do I have a feeling you're just going to stay out here and get killed by a zombie? Oh well, anyway, like I was saying, I am going to change it up a little bit with the wood that we're going to use. I feel like we're maybe going a bit too heavy on the oak. So I'm going to grab as much birch wood as I can. And thankfully with this tree chopping mod, shouldn't take too long. And then we'll get started on the upper section of the storage room. I'm basically just going to do a fairly similar design to this on the top level. But before we do that, I am going to craft a load of spruce slabs, because of course we're actually going to need a floor up here, and we're going to need a floor that is made out of half blocks. That way when we put them above the chests here like this, we can still open them. And this is where the birch wood is going to stand on. But of course we are going to get that stripped, and I don't have the materials for it yet, but what I'm thinking is, instead of chests, because we've quite clearly got enough of them, I'm thinking a nice library up here. So we'll maybe put some barrels across here, and then on the back block we can have a load of bookshelves. And you know what, I wouldn't mind getting one of those kind of arches in again on this top one here. So I guess that would just mean running an oak log across the top here like this. And then yeah, I can probably just go for something similar like this. And I think same again on the corners here, we'll just bring the oak out like that. And I tell you what, why don't we just double up on the little spruce arch here. Like that. Okay, yeah, that is looking pretty good. But of course, I can't get the rest of it built until we put the floor in. So I'm just going to go around the top here and get all of these spruce half slabs put in. And that's definitely going to make my life a lot easier up here. It is all slowly starting to come together. But if I am to replicate all of this, I'm going to need a lot more spruce wood. Because right now, I have a total of 32 logs to my name. But I do have my little podzol patch over here. So I'm just going to plant some saplings for a little bit, get them all bone mealed up, and use our lovely tree chopping mod to instantly get the wood. Alright, I've grabbed a bunch of spruce. I've even went ahead and got a load more birch logs. So I think it's time to get the outline of this top part done, which means time for another time lapse. You know, I always look at these things and expect them to take so much longer than they actually do, but this thing is flying up. It's looking good though, I really like it. Definitely breaks the bottom section up nicely, but we're left with these kind of big, chunky stone corners here, and I think once we change those out, this place is going to look a whole lot better. So I'm going to head back up to the surface. Oh, lovely fresh air. And I'm going to travel over to this beach in the distance, because I really want to get some sandstone in that underground build, and I think those chunky corners are the perfect excuse for it. Alright, looks like I've got 5.5 stacks, that should be enough. So I'm going to head back down into our hole, and if I just grab some cobblestone out of our chest, I can craft a bunch of furnaces, grab a load of coal, and get all of this sand smelted up into sandstone. Hang on, wait a second, what am I doing? This makes glass, am I stupid? What am I actually playing at? So how do you make sandstone? Oh my god, it's literally just craftable like that. And we've only got 56. That's not going to be enough. Okay, back to digging. Alright, that's definitely made top 10 dumbest things to ever happen in Minecraft. You wouldn't think I've been playing this game on and off for about 10 years, would you? But I've got 2 stacks now, so I'm just going to remove the front layer here like this. And then I can just go ahead and replace this all with sandstone. That looks nice. That kind of goes really well with the birch wood, doesn't it? Alright, cool. I'm going to get the rest of these corners filled in. Alrighty, and that is all done. And I really like it. It's pretty cool. But we should probably get these sections filled in now. And I am going to go with a library up here, so this is all going to be full of bookshelves. But yep, you guessed it, we don't have any books. But that's okay, because what we do have all the way in the distance over there is a trading village, and I have a lot of villagers that can sell me books, but they're not going to give me them for free. So I'm going to head over to our sugarcane and bamboo farm here and grab all the sugarcane that I can, although I can't carry it all in one go, so that's going to get a little bit annoying. It's going to be quite a few back and forth trips here, and to be honest, the inconvenience of this is kind of making me realize I'm getting a little bit desperate good for shulker boxes, because all of these trips back and forth between villages and farming districts, it really adds up. I mean, just take now for instance, I couldn't find my boat, so I've had to swim all the way across here to our village, and this whole trip from our sugarcane farm has probably taken about 2 minutes. And of course, multiply that by however many times we need to come here, and we are looking at quite a lot of wasted time. And you know what, after all that yapping, I think I've just convinced myself that we need an elytra and shulker boxes. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now I've placed all the sugarcane in here for now, we'll come back to this. I need to prep for a dragon fight. And you know what, while we're in our trading village, I may as well get equipped with a proper bow. Now I did just pick up some string, so I can craft this straight away. And this wasn't the intention with this sugarcane, but I'm actually going to take it, turn it all into paper, grab as many emeralds as we can, and with those emeralds, I'm going to buy Infinity, Unbreaking 3, and Flame. But before I put those enchantments on the bow, I'm going to head over to our enchanting station and see if I can get any extra on this thing. And I do always love an excuse to come back to our farming island. I just remembered I need lapis. See, this is exactly why I need an elytra. I'm going to have to head all the way over to our village and then back to our house, which again is just going to take up so much more time than it needs to. Alright, lapis acquired. Let's see what we get here. Oh, okay, looks like I was going to get infinity anyway. Maybe I should have done this first. Oh, power 4. I completely forgot about power. Alright, you know what? That is actually perfect. Okay, and let's just put the rest of the enchantments on this thing. Unbreaking 3, and we've got flame. You know what? That is a pretty good bow. Alright, now all I've got to do is head back to the nether, where I can kill some blaze, grab a bunch of blaze rods, then hopefully find a bunch of endermen in a warped forest, murder a bunch of the locals to grab some pearls, and we do also have a bunch down here because they've been spawning in this big space, but I'm going to craft these rods into blaze powder now, and then we can combine all of them to create Eyes of Ender, and I think 18 should definitely be enough to get us there. But there is just one last thing we need to do before then. We need to stay up through the night and find as many creepers as possible, because if we're going to get an elytra, we're going to need gunpowder to use it. Alright, I've basically had to jump back downstairs to take cover from all the mobs up there, but I've managed to get 27 gunpowder, which I think is pretty solid. And bada bing, bada boom, we have firework rockets. That's going to enable us to fly off the elytra, which means we are finally ready to get going. Alright, fully prepared. It's time to throw the first Eye of Ender and find out where this stronghold's located. So let's go. Oh, okay, looks like we're to the left. This is probably going to be quite a long journey, but let the adventure begin. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a hunch that if we throw one now, we're going to have to turn around, and I hope that's the case. It is! Alright, cool. Looks like it is somewhere under this forest. I'm going to come to maybe the middle section here and throw another one. Alright, let's see. Does this turn us around again? Oh! It's directly under us. Alright, let's just dig straight down. Oh, okay, it looks like we're into the library. Wait, this is perfect. We literally need books for our own library at home. Alright, I need to make space in my inventory for this stuff. Oh no, I left my Silk Touch axe at home. Alright, you know what, never mind. We'll just do it very, very slowly with our Silk Touch pickaxe instead. And a very long time later, that is all done. It's kind of crazy. I've never seen a stronghold library emptied like this. But we got a buttload of books. I got 3.5 stacks, which is definitely going to save me some time back at the base. But enough of that, it is finally time to find ourselves the portal room. And I've got to be honest, I usually hate doing this. It takes so long. Oh boy, I am just hitting dead end after dead end here. Any luck? Nope, another dead end. I think I'm just going to keep heading down. That's usually a good thing to do, right? Alright, you know what? This has taken a very long time. So I'm going to keep searching for this portal room and I'll bring you back when we found it. And after way too long, I have finally found it. Let's just get rid of that real quick. Okay, it's nice and safe. But the good news is while looking for this thing, we did find another library. And I've managed to get so many more bookshelves. But let's have a look. We have been left with 3 Eyes of Ender in the portal already. So I'm just going to get the rest in here like this. And there we go. Our elytra and shulker boxes await. Okay, let's do this. And there she is. Hello, dragon. Sorry to barge into your home like this, but I'm gonna have to destroy all of your pillars. Alright, pillars down. Let's slay this dragon. Come on, almost got it. Yes, we've done it. Grab all my XP. Thank you very much. And of course, we can't forget the dragon egg, so let's just pick that up. All right, anyway, that is the easy bit out of the way. It is time for the hard part. We now need to go through that portal over there and hunt for some shulker boxes and an elytra. And this is probably the only thing I hate more than the nether. Crouching over the void like this in hardcore is not a nice feeling. And then let's just throw pearl from here. Okay, nice. We are on a platform miles away from anything. Okay, lovely. I'm trying to think, what is the safest way to go? It's probably across here, right? If we just hop over those islands. Yeah, let's do that. All right, gonna have to pillar out again. Feels absolutely awful, but can't be avoided. Oh, that guy just fell off. Oh, hang on. Right on the edge of our render distance, there's a city. You can kind of just see the edge of it glistening. Oh boy, I'm getting excited now. We are so close. Now, we won't be able to get an elytra from this because it doesn't have a floating ship on the side of it like they usually do. But I don't really care. I'm still going to be able to get shulker boxes. And once we've got them, we can find a different city for an elytra. Right, come here, you little devils. Shulker shells, yes. Oh, they're so beautiful. And there we go, our very first shulker box. Oh, that's so nice. Get all of this rubbish out of my inventory. Oh, and what is that I see in the distance? Another city? But the question is, does this one have a ship? Oh, it does. All right, come on. Straight under the butt. Let's go. Oh, and there she is, the elytra. Get rid of this idiot. Oh, how I've longed for you. Now, before we do anything else, let's get an anvil down and let's enchant this thing from breaking 3 and mending. And you know what? To celebrate such a huge step, I'm going to let you guys decide the name of my elytra. So drop a comment down below and I'll pick the best one in the next episode. All right, here we go. Let's swap this out for the chest piece. Let's get to the highest point we can. And yeah, let's fly. Oh, that's so good. We're at almost 800 days in this world, and walking around for that entire time has been an absolute slog. Now, this will put Chestnut out of a job, but I'm sure he'll enjoy the retirement. Anyway, I'm going to grab a few more shulker shells, and then let's head back home. And that's it, we are home already, but how cool does all this look from the sky? Alright, that's enough excitement. Let's go home, where we can go to sleep, and tomorrow we'll get right back on track of what we were doing before we went to the end. Alright, now before the sidetrack, we were working on getting these bookshelves up into the top section here. So I'm going to get as many of these filled in as I can, and we'll see how much more we've got left before we have to start trading. We've got one empty section on the back here, but that is covered over 3/4 just from what we found in those 2 libraries. But I've done the maths here, and we need just over 2 stacks of bookshelves. So I'm going to craft a bunch more shulker boxes. I think 5 should do. Then we can head up top and return to our sugarcane farm. Alright, let's get one of these placed down and just yoink everything we can and put it into here. Now let's just fly on over to our trading village. Hello, gentlemen. I heard you guys are selling bookshelves. Alright, I'm going to get trading. I'll see you in a sec. Okay, I have just under 2.5 stacks. So I'm just going to fly over back to our storage room and let's just pray that I actually got my maths right and fill the rest of this in. And to my own surprise, I actually did get my maths right. I'm quite impressed with myself. But look at this. This is looking so nice now. Oh, but you know what? I've just remembered something. I wanted to make the outside of this walkway lecterns for like a nice railing. So I actually need to trade for a lot more bookshelves. And to be honest, I kind of have something planned with the bottom floor, which is going to require a bunch of lecterns as well. I guess we're going back to the village. But at least we're saving time on our trips with this elytra. Anyway, let's get the last of these bookshelves. And all I'm going to do now is just place these lecterns facing forward. And then what I can do is take a spruce trapdoor and just have a nice layer on top of the lecterns like this. Oh, and you know what? I am super happy with that. It's kind of brought the top and bottom layers together, hasn't it? But one thing that I'm not really keen on while I'm walking along here is how this oak wood kind of sticks out along the edge. But that is a very easy fix. So all I'm thinking we do is head over to our farming district where we can come to our sheep farm. And yep, you've probably guessed it by now, but I'm going to make a load of carpet. And I do really like red carpet, so this guy's coming in clutch. Anyway, carpet acquired, let's get to it. Alright, yeah, that is so much better. It feels really cozy up here now with the railing in and the carpet. Now, I want to make sure that every part of this storage room is functional. And that includes these top bookshelves here too. But what I'm thinking is every so often, in some of these sections, we'll replace a normal bookshelf with a chiseled bookshelf. And then that can be a place to keep our enchanted books. So I've got an Unbreaking 3 here, which we can slot in there. Then just imagine this is full and we've got a little sign above it saying Unbreaking. We can just come over to our bookshelves, pop it out, and that's it. So we'll have like a main enchantment in each section of the bookshelves. But of course, I don't have anywhere near enough enchantments for that, so that'll be later on in the world when we've got a bit more of a stockpile. But now it's time to put all of these spare lecterns to use. What I would actually like to do is dig out this entire middle section and have some stairs going downwards into farming areas. So what I'm going to do is craft up a few barrels, and then I'm going to make sure that we're lined up with these pillars and place some barrels down, just like this. So this is going to act as an outline for the middle section section that I'm going to dig out. And this is where the extra lecterns come in handy. I'm just going to use the lecterns to fill in the gaps between the barrels, and then we'll be left with another railing section, just like on the top floor there, to separate the ground floor from the middle section. And hopefully you can visualize what I'm talking about a bit easier now, but I am happy with how this has turned out. So really all I've got left to do now is dig out this centerpiece. Let's do it. And if you're still watching, prove it and comment the word peanuts. That is a pretty big hole. A lot bigger than I was expecting as well. Sometimes I just get carried away and I can't help myself. But of course we are going to have to fill it in. And I think it makes sense to just start with the stairs. So I'm just going to come over to our trusty woodcutter here. And you know what? I'm actually thinking a mixture. I'm going to get a load of spruce stairs. And I'm also going to get a load of oak stairs as well. Okay, now I think what we'll do is just raise the ground up by one first. And then what I'm thinking is we'll remove this stone here, place a spruce stair on there, do the same on the other side, and then we can have the middle section here oak stairs instead. And okay, yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. But I do kind of want to frame it nicely, so what I'm thinking is we'll just come to the corners here and we'll stack all the way up with some oak logs like that. Do the same on the other side. Yeah, something like that. I think it looks a lot better. Alright, cool, that's one staircase in. Let's get the other three sorted. So this is looking really nice so far, and you can kind of see these big squares on each corner. That's where I want to put the farmlands. Now we don't really want to go straight from spruce into farmland, so I've grabbed some cobblestone and I just want to go around the edges here like this, and then that's going to act as like a nice frame. And I've also went ahead and grabbed some glowstone that we can just put as a little 2x2 in the middle here, and that should be enough light for all of the crops. And I'm just going to head back over to our home island so I can grab a load of wheat seeds to plant in our storage room. Oh, and I just realized I forgot to feed all the cows. Bro, this is going to take so long. Alright, really need to stay on top of that if I want all my item frames. Alright, I've got plenty wheat seeds now. I just need to grab a bunch of dirt for our farmland, and then I'll go plant all my crops. Alright, so I did run into a little bit of an issue here, and that is the fact that this glowstone here wasn't actually enough to light all of the crops adequately. So I've had to kind of spam torches everywhere, which is very ugly, so we're going to have to do something about that. But I think we'll just leave that for a little bit. But yeah, anyway, that is one section done, but we still have to do something about these walls behind them, because right now they're kind of ugly. But luckily we've still got our beacon up, so at least removing them isn't going to take long. And I'm just going to craft some spruce planks, and we can just run that along the top here like this. But we should probably have something different underneath it. And when I'm looking around this storage room, I quite like those little sandstone accents at the top there. So I'm just going to head over this direction, because I think there's a beach on the other side of this hill. And I'm hoping if we go far enough under this, we should get some sandstone. Oh, that is literally sandstone. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm going to grab a load of this and then we'll head back. I'm just going to start by running normal sandstone along the bottom here like this. And I've actually gone and crafted some cut sandstone too, which I don't usually use. But I think that would look nice if we put it along here. And then I guess we can just cover the top in here with normal sandstone again. Oh, but actually, I'm going to try something else. Yeah, you know what? I think I prefer that. Alright, let's get the rest of these in. Big fan of this. And just like we thought, it does go nicely with the sandstone in the top corners there. And I definitely went a little bit overkill on resources. I thought it was going to need a lot more. But hey, that's okay, because we've got a storage room now, so I can just dump all this into here. But I think now I want to add something along these cobblestone outlines, which means we're going to have to get rid of the torches, which means the crops aren't going to grow properly. So I'm going to make a quick trip back over to the iron farm, grab a bunch of iron, head back to our storage room, and craft a bunch of lanterns. That way we can just put one on every barrel here like this, and that should mean we can just safely remove these torches now without any of these crops popping out of the dirt. Oh, but hey, that's looking loads tidier. Yeah, I really like those lanterns. Alright, anyway, I'm going to come over to our woodcutter and craft a load of spruce fence gates. Then all I'm going to do is connect the barrels up like this, and then we should have a nice enclosed farming area, which by the way is starting to grow. Look at that. We got a full crop already. And I've also decided we're going to do something very cool in the corners of these farm areas here. I basically want to put a big 2x2 quartz pillar going all the way up into the ceiling. We'll have one pillar in each corner, and then about halfway up the room we'll connect them with a nice archway. But that is going to take a lot of quartz. A lot of quartz that I don't have, unfortunately. So it's time to go back to my least favorite place in Minecraft, the Nether. I'm sure this will be fun as always. And after half an hour of digging, I think we've got enough. So what I'm going to do is just come into the inner corners of each farming section here. And I think all I really want to do is a simple 2 by 2 right in the corner here, and we're just going to build this fairly high. It's not going to go all the way to the ceiling, but it's going to get pretty close. All right, not bad at all. This is going to look so good when it's finished. But I did mention earlier that I kind of want to connect them with an archway, and I don't want it to be too thick. So I'm probably going to make it out of slabs, and I think smooth quartz slabs are going to be the block we're after. So I'm just going to line some furnaces up here, and this should definitely speed things along a little bit. And if anything, this is just clear justification that we need our super smelter built ASAP. But while this is smelting, I'm actually going to go back up to the surface because I want some trapdoors on those archways too. And I think pale oak wood will be a great addition. The only problem is I can't remember where I put the pale oak saplings. I know they're around here somewhere because we used them last episode, but it could be anywhere. But you know what? This is exactly why we're building a storage room right now. Because I just have boxes of junk scattered all over this world. And it takes absolutely ages to actually find anything that I need to use. Which I know is completely my own fault. Like, why do we have the Ender Dragon head in a random barrel in the sugarcane farm? Feel free to judge me. I deserve it. Alright, maybe I'm just being an idiot, which is definitely a possibility. But I have checked literally every single chest and every single barrel across my village over there, my home base, and the farming district, and I cannot find these pale oak saplings anywhere. But you know what? That is exactly why we've got an elytra now. I already know where a pale garden's located, so we're just going to fly on over there instead. Oh, and I think we're coming up on it right now. Oh, this place looks so crazy at nighttime too, but I think that's it over there. It's going to fly up here real quick. Oh, that's a creaking. Alright, maybe not. Alright, well, we got a tree chopping mod, so should be able to get in here pretty quick. Ugh, this thing's creepy. Gimme. I have no idea if we picked any saplings up there. Oh, we did. We got 5. Nice. That was a little bit scary, but we're going to go in for a second run because I would like to get a little bit more than 5. Let's try this. All right, we got 15 pale oak saplings. That'll definitely be enough for a nice little farm at home. Well, I was going to plant some pale oak saplings, but to be honest, I think we probably picked up enough wood there. And it looks like all of this is just about finished smelting, so we should be able to get going. All right, I've got a bunch of smooth quartz slabs, smooth quartz stairs, and pale oak trapdoors. Let's build these archways. Oh, this has totally changed the area, man. Have a look at this. It's so good. But of course, it is looking a little bit strange having them just cut off so far below the ceiling there. And I was kind of saving the ceiling until last, but basically I'm going to split it into 2 sections. We're going to have a ceiling in the middle part here, and then we'll have a separate ceiling a little bit higher on the outside. But I think I want to work on getting the outline of that middle ceiling in and at least getting the pillars up a little bit higher and connected properly. And we are going to need wood for that. So I'm going to grab some spruce saplings out of this chest, yoink all this bone meal, and then I just want to grab a few giant trees worth of wood, and I'm just going to head back over to our local forest where we can just go ahead and grab a bunch of oak wood as well. And I've crafted some spruce stairs and spruce trapdoors, so let's get up here and see what we can do with them. What I'm actually going to do is bring these pillars up a little bit more, but use stone blocks instead. Because what I want to do is kind of make it look as if the pillars are going all the way up into the ceiling, but I want to try and mask it with some trapdoors and some spruce stairs. And obviously it's not worth wasting any pillars if it's just going to be hidden. But yeah, let's just continue this on each side like this. Alright, that's looking cool. You can kind of see how I just want the pillar to kind of branch out a little bit at the top, which of course means we're going to need some blocks on top of these stairs as well. And I am feeling some good old spruce logs. And of course we'll get those all stripped. And actually, how about we mix it up a little bit? We put some oak logs on top of that as well. All right, let's see. How's that looking? That's actually quite nice. Yeah, I really like that design. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that same thing replicated on all 4 corners. And while I was putting these in, I was thinking, why overcomplicate things? So all I'm going to do is bring these oak logs out like this, and then we'll just follow it all the way along the ceiling until eventually we meet up with one of the other sections here like this. And let's just double up here with some spruce wood. So I think this is starting to look a lot better now that it's all connected up. And I've decided to section it off into 2 different compartments, which is why we've got that nice spruce beam running down the middle there. Although, let's be honest, it's a bit dark up there. But when I was in the nether earlier, I did actually use my brain for once. That's right, I seen this coming, and I collected a bunch of glowstone. And I think it would look great up there. I've also grabbed all of this wood, so why don't we go ahead and build this entire ceiling? hold on a second, we may have just made a banger. This is hands down the coolest ceiling I've ever built in Minecraft. The only thing that's bugging me is this beacon's now completely in the wrong place. I'm not going to bother fixing it yet, but at some point before the end of the episode, we're going to have it right here so it goes up directly into the center there. But okay, now that that is done, I feel like this part of the ceiling just has to get filled in now too. So I'm going to head back up to the surface again, and we're going to go somewhere that I haven't been in quite a while. We're going to travel along this river and pay a visit to this dark oak forest. We haven't used any dark oak yet, and I think it's going to be a great addition to the storage room. Alright, let's finish this ceiling. And it's done. That is basically the hardest part of the build complete, and I'm really happy with it. But we're kind of onto the easy parts now. I think now would be the perfect time to start filling in these sections here. And we may as well start with the easiest one, which is going to be in Nether Portal. And there's no point doing a small one. I wanted the entire size of this thing here. But you guessed it, we don't have any obsidian. So I'm just going to fly around until I find a lava pool. And I think I can spot one down there. Let's just safely land this thing, and we can just drop our bucket of water right on top of that. I'm going to grab as much of this as I can, and then we'll get building that portal. So like I said, I want this as big as it could possibly be. Now unfortunately we can't break into the wood there, otherwise that'll affect the floor of the upstairs, but we can bring it all the way around and down here. And yeah, that's a pretty big portal. The only problem is I don't actually think I have any flint to light this thing with. I guess we are nearly 800 days into this world and don't have a single bit of flint to our name. Surely we've got some flint in the house. Okay, maybe we don't. Not a single bit of flint. And I feel like everybody is just starting to see how bad my storage has been. Again, this is exactly why we're making the storage room today. Oh, flint. Nice. And now we can actually light this thing. And I'll just add some spruce stairs at the bottom here like that. Oh, actually, hold on a second. I think we're using half slabs at the top here, aren't we? Oh, okay. Nice. We can actually make it taller. We can just put carpet over the top layer. All right, let's break this. And then, yeah, let's just bring this up by one extra level here. Put the carpet back across the top. Nice. That looks so much better now without the dumb bit of obsidian at the top. And that means we're ready to move on to something else here. And I think the super smelter will be next up. Now, it goes completely without saying why I'm so excited to have a super smelter in this world. I mean, just take one look over here and you can probably guess why. And the best part is these things are just so easy to build. I'm just going to knock some space in the wall here and we'll get started. And that should just about do it. I've made a nice long tunnel down here, which is where we're going to store all of our furnaces. And at the front here, I've hollowed out a nice space and I've left it wide enough so we can have a little bit of extra storage. Not that we need any, but yeah, this should be more than enough room. But okay, it is time to make an absolute buttload of furnaces. So let's just run these all the way along to the end. Then we just have to run some furnaces along the bottom here, as well as across the top. Alright, now for the only hard bit of this thing. We need to find enough gold to create powered rails that'll go all the way along this thing. And right now I have absolutely zero. Time for a mining trip. Alright, I got 2.5 stacks of raw gold now. I think that should be enough. Okay, and let's get these all crafted into powered rails. Oh, I still need gold ingots. I still need to smelt these things. Ah, this is exactly why we need this super smelter right now. Okay, I tell you what, while we're waiting for all of those things to smelt up, we may as well get cracking with this. We still need another layer of hoppers on top of these furnaces here. And let's just remove these center blocks here. And then we can just go ahead and put a double chest in here and run some hoppers into the back of it there. And then this can be our collection system, which is already working apparently, and it looks like all of our furnaces are finished cooking. So let's see how many powered rails we can get out of this. Alright, 2.5 stacks, that is definitely enough. Alright, now it is finally time to get the rails in here, and I've just crafted some levers so that the powered rails have, well, power. So unless I've built this thing wrong, it should be working. So let's test it out. We're going to make our minecart with chests. Let's place one here and let's place the other one here. And off they go. Look at that. Oh, that feels good. Ladies and gents, we have a super smelter. But of course we're going to have to decorate it a little bit, aren't we? I think I'm going to call this complete now. I am so happy with how this has turned out. But alright, that is a success. It's time to move on to the next project. And the final section that we have to create is the map wall. And I'm really looking forward to this one. So let's just remove this. And I think I want to create this wall out of smooth sandstone. And I think we'll even run some spruce stairs along the front here like this. And that's basically it. We're just going to put the map on top of this thing. Now we will need a little bit of space in the corners here, so I'm going to have to remove these trapdoors. That gives us a giant 5x4 area that we're going to be able to put our map on. But we're also going to need item frames to hang the map. But I don't think our cow farm is producing any leather yet. No, not even close. Well, I don't really want to kill the guys in the pen, so I guess I'm just going to have to go hunting for some leather instead. And looks like we got some right here. Alright, leather in the middle, sticks around the outside, and there we go. We now have 20 item frames. So I'm just going to hang these in each square of our wall over here. And alright, let's craft up these maps. So first of all, we're going to need 20 compasses. Oh, we need paper. Of course we do. But that's okay. I do love an excuse to go to one of our farms. And yoink, now we can make 20 empty maps. So I'm going to get into the middle of this island here, and we will create our very first map. And looking good. Let's go place this on the wall. Okay, now because of the way this is laid out, we don't really have a center block, so I guess we just put it there, right? Because then we'll have the coastline on the top row here like this. Alright, let's get the rest of these squares filled in. Time for a map making montage. Alright, it's official. This is my favorite thing in our entire world so far. I have always wanted a map wall in Minecraft, but for some reason I've just never built one. And I think this is the perfect world to do it in because I've got such massive plans for this entire area. But now that's complete, we're essentially done with all of our little compartments. Oh, who's he? Sorry sir, unless you're paying rent, you're not allowed in here. We don't need him moving blocks around. But anyway, we are kind of getting into the home stretch now. And one thing that absolutely needs sorting out is this floor. But this is going to be nice and easy. I'm just going to take all of our oak logs and turn them into planks. And then I'm just going to remove one layer around the outside here and then get that all filled in with the oak planks. But then I'm going to skip 2 blocks and I'm going to do it again here. And the reason I'm skipping this is because we're going to put red carpet on it instead of wood. Alright, let's get this layer sorted. And I'm just making one last trip over to our sheep farm here, where for the last few days I've been trying to stockpile red wool. Alright, I think that should definitely be enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this entire room with carpet. Look how much cozier it is now. I love it. Oh, and actually, I've just realized I missed out these little bits here near the stairs. But there we go. All done. Oh, and also, let me show you this real quick. I did add in some oak fence gates just running along the top of the stairs here. And I think it looks really nice. It's just a little bit of extra detail, but it goes a long way. I mean, just look at this place, man. It's looking insane. But it's not done. We've still got a few finishing touches to make. And this one I am probably most excited about. Now, I mentioned earlier that I've kept some spare glowstone, and that's because I want to make a load of redstone lamps. Oh, sorry, I told your friend the same thing. If you're not paying rent, you can't stay here. But anyway, what I want to do is just come to the bottom of each chest section here and remove a couple layers of stone. Then I'm just going to place 2 redstone torches down like that, and we should be able to just run redstone lamps all the way across, which will light the bottom of the chests up. And I think that looks amazing. So yeah, I'm just going to go around each section and get these all filled in. Alright, I am absolutely loving the lights. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Just gives off such like a nice ambience, doesn't it? Especially when you're looking at chests from a distance too. I love seeing the light just rise up from the bottom there. Oh, and also, I don't know if you can notice, but I've gone around and replaced the stone that was originally behind the chest with spruce wood. Oh, hang on, you can actually see that I forgot to do them on this one, but that's a good example. Look, we've got the spruce wood on there, and then we've got the stone on this one. Quite a subtle difference, but I like it. And also, I did finally move the beacon. We've now got it right in the middle of the storage room, and I've placed some red stained glass in there to match the carpet, which of course changes the colour of the light beam as well. But yeah, all in all, pretty good changes. Very happy indeed. Now we've still got this row of stone on the inside here, which I've got a super simple plan for. So just going to remove all this, and I'm just going to take a quick trip to the bone meal farm so I can grab a load of bones from the chest here, turn a load of that into bone meal, and then I'm going to fly over to our little farming district and grab as many tall flowers as I can. And what I'm thinking is we'll just fill in all of these empty spaces here with some grass blocks, and then we can just go around and fill it all in with some tall flowers. Honestly, honestly, I just keep thinking this place can't get any better. We just add something like this and it just transforms it again. You can probably tell I'm a little bit excited about this place. I've also crafted a load of lanterns so we can finally get rid of some of the torch spam. So how about we just remove the torch from each chest compartment and get that replaced with a lantern instead. And that looks much tidier, doesn't it? And that only really leaves this last little bit. We need to make a proper entrance / exit for this thing. And I'm thinking we're just going to do a simple bubble column up here for the ladder, and we'll probably keep our little puddle thing the way it is. First things first though, let's get all of this tidied up. And look, this is going to be the last time I just chuck random stuff into boxes, okay? We'll do it just this one more time, and then I'll tidy them all up. Let's just remove the floor and get it all replaced with spruce planks. Now I'm not thinking anything too crazy here, but since this one's going to be the water elevator, I do quite like it when there's a glass chute so you can see the bubbles going up it. So I'm just going to remove this, and let's put our super smelter to use. I'm just going to drop all of the sand in there, send them on their way. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to how good this is. Look at that, it's just flying. Alright, anyway, yoink. Alright, let's just get those in all the way there, and we may as well do the one next to it too. And there we go, we've got a matching set. And then I think for the corners here, we'll just do some barrels, get some spruce pillars in there, and then we can just add some stairs at the top for like a little mini archway. I'm just going to add a few more details, and I'll see you in a sec. Alright, so I've done a little bit of decorating, and I really like this. But of course we don't have our bubble elevator just yet, because I'm going to need some kelp for that, and I haven't collected any in this world yet, but I can see some already under the water, so let me just yoink a load of this. Now I'm just going to scoop some water out of our river here, and just go ahead and pour it straight down our chute. And if we come to the bottom here, oh, I just remembered I need soul sand. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've got some over here. Soul soil? Will that work? I think it should work. I mean, we're about to find out. So if I just place this at the bottom here, and hopefully we can plant this kelp on it. Okay, moment of truth. Are we going to get bubbles? We are not. Okay, great. Luckily, I don't have to travel too far for some actual soul sand. So let's just go ahead and place that at the bottom instead. And bubbles. Bubbles! There we go. So if we stand in this thing now, we should be shot straight up to the top. And with that, the storage room is officially complete. Look at what we've accomplished today. This is amazing. Now, surely you didn't think I was just going to leave these 2 holes in the ground and call it a day, right? No. I'm going to make loads of more work for myself and build a giant tower on top of it. And then we'll have to also decorate the area outside of it. Alright, I've saved the best till last, and it is time for the final time lapse.